Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and you are watching a special edition. We are exploring some major connections unfolding. We've got a major story for you guys here today. It is an XRP alert. Epstein files reveal Satoshi and the war on crypto. We've discovered Epstein files that link the founders of Bitcoin to Jeffrey Epstein and why we think XRP was suppressed. We just had a special guest on the show. Lou was on with Martyn in the show just before that. I want to welcome him into this show as well. We might differ in opinion. He loves Bitcoin. I love XRP alongside many other investments. We are not the channel maybe Lou thought we were. We're not that channel out there that calls for $100 XRP, $50 XRP, $1,000 XRP. We've called people out time and time again. We care about our audience. We speak to our audience live every single day. We tell them about the risks of listening to people that just promise them the world. We talk about utility. And just like I like to invest in gold, I might enjoy Bitcoin a little bit as well, but I prefer silver, the one that has utility, and that's why I prefer XRP, because I think it's got utility. Gold is a great store of value. I love gold. I actually prefer it to Bitcoin, in all honesty. I mean, what's the problem with tokenized gold? You can tokenize it. There's a limited supply. What's the limited supply? Well, you can look into how many tons of gold there are in the world, and you can see what the limit is. Yes, there's a little bit of a range, but it's the same idea. Limited supply. It's been a currency for years and years. Everyone trusts it. People can buy it. And unlike Bitcoin, like digital currency, you can have it in your hand. No one can take it from you. And now it's on the blockchain and it is tokenized. So I prefer to store my value in gold, but I prefer to buy something with utility like silver. That's why we bought gold at $1,300 just a few years ago and silver at $30. That's why we like Bitcoin to an extent, but we know it's risk. We know it's Satoshi can come out and sell his whole bag at any point. But I prefer messing in XRP. Why? Well, because there is a great community around it. Well, because there is a great utility, because it's solving real life problems, because there's a great company called Ripple that's trying to solve the financial industry and create an internet of value. And what does it do? Well, it loves the XRP ledger. It's the core focus of its business. It's the heartbeat of its business, and that's why I prefer to look at XRP. Anyway, let's put that to the side and let's go over to our story. What we're going to do is turn this into a 3-part video as well. This has come directly from our very own newsletter, so go check it out. First link in the description as well. What is the story? Well, we're looking at these fine fellas. Well, I can't say that because one of them is just awful. The man in the middle, we don't like that guy. He's not a fine fella. He's Jeffrey Epstein. Then we've got Gary Gensler. I mean, he's not a fine fellow either. He was the previous head of the SEC. So ignore my statement of the fine fellas. We like Ripple CTO over here. We like him. You might like Trump. We like Trump to an extent. Again, we don't participate in fan clubs. So what we're going to do is uncover this story and turn it into 3 videos. Remember, we make our videos live, unscripted. So here we go. What a terrible statement I just made about fine fellas. Absolutely awful. That just came out of nowhere and I did not mean that. Anyway, let's get started with the video. Here we go. So, breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. We are diving deep into the Epstein files that just got released and how those files might show us the real reason and who started the suppression on XRP and Ripple. And does it reveal who Satoshi Nakamoto is? Well, let's get straight into that. So here we go. This is directly from our very own newsletter. It is the first link in the description. You can access it for free. We give a lot of free content, or there is a 25% offer for the premium plan. So XRP, the Epstein files, Bitcoin's origins, and the war against Ripple. What 3.5 million pages of declassified documents reveal about who built Bitcoin and who try to destroy XRP and whether the SEC was part of that plan all along. On January the 30th, 2026, the US Department of Justice released over 3.5 million pages and more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images tied to Jeffrey Epstein under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Within hours, a single screenshot from that mountain of documents set the XRP community on fire. The screenshots showed an email that the names on it were Jeffrey Epstein, Reid Hoffman, Jolie Itu, and a man called Austin Hill. The subject line: Stellar isn't so stellar, referring to XLM. And buried in the body of that email was two words that made every XRP holder stop scrolling: Ripple and Stellar. But this story isn't what crypto Twitter made it out to be. It's bigger. The email doesn't show Ripple working with Epstein. It shows a Bitcoin company executive writing to Epstein, arguing that Ripple and Stellar were enemies and needed to be stopped. And the questions that raise are far more interesting than any conspiracy theory. So, very interesting. Let's get into it. It's the Bitcoin maxis loved as soon as this came out. They were all over X, trying to make it seem like Ripple and XLM were connected with Jeffrey Epstein. Give it 5 more minutes of research, and they figured out that that's not the case. There's a lot of connections to Bitcoin's founders. We might even know who Satoshi is at this point. And they're the ones linked to Bitcoin. And they were trying to crush Ripple and Stellar. Remember, these are all my opinions, plus we've got some evidence for certain points as well. So this is the email that started it all. On January the 31st, Ripple CTO David Schwartz, also known as @JoelKatz on X, posted the actual email from the Epstein files with a comment that surprised everyone. David Schwartz said, and I quote, "I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is just the tip of a giant iceberg." What's he referring to? Well, let's have a look at this email here. This is from Austin Hill to Jeffrey Epstein. He says, subject line: Stellar isn't so stellar. Hi, guys. We obviously have seen and then linked to the Stellar website. I'm not sure what the relationship with Jed and the team are. I know obviously some of the players, but this is a problem for us. Why is it a problem for them? Why does he care if there's a company called Stellar? Why does he care if new currencies were being created? Why is this such a problem for us? Is he connected to it? Well, let's continue. Would one of you please give me a call at, and then obviously it's crossed out the number. I can explain some of the issues, but basically I've been asked by other co-founders to reduce or take allocation away. Ripple and Jed's new Stellar are bad for ecosystem we're building. We're building. He's building a Bitcoin ecosystem. What's this all about? We're building. And does our company damage to have investors who are backing 2 horses in the same race? Happy to discuss a farewell to deal with this. That's from Austin to Epstein. So let's read that again. Ripple's former CEO, Schwartz said, didn't dismiss this as nothing. He's an accredited person. He's got credibility. He's worked at Ripple for years. He is the one who's just called this the tip of a giant iceberg. The email itself was dated July the 31st, 2014, and was sent by Austin Hill, then CEO of Blockstream, a Bitcoin infrastructure company. Hill was writing to Epstein and Joy, the former MIT Media Lab director. That's going to be important later because this story is crazy, by the way. This story links to Gary Gensler. It links to who Satoshi was. It links to who created Bitcoin, the initial founders. It links to potentially the case against Ripple and the SEC. I mean, this is, when I was writing this, I had the chills. I said to my wife, maybe someone's going to come and do something bad to us now we're uncovering the story. But touch wood, hopefully this is all public information. This is just my thoughts on it. Please don't come after me. Let's continue. The email itself was dated then. Yes, he was, Bitcoin infrastructure company. So what was the message? Hill's message was blunt. He had been asked by Stream's co-founder, to pressure these investors to abandon Ripple and Jed McCaleb's newly launched Stellar project, arguing both were bad for the ecosystem Block was trying to build. Blockstream. The key detail here is the email showed Bitcoin-aligned executives pressuring Epstein to cut off support for XRP and Stellar. It doesn't show Ripple seeking Epstein's help, like some people were trying to say. In fact, Ripple appears only as the target, the project that needed to be eliminated. Why does XRP and XLM and these tokens of utility, why do they always have some sort of suppression? Why does someone always want to get rid of them? All the way back into 2014, when these projects were only in its early days, they were still trying to get rid of it. I mean, that makes me question a few things. Does this show who created Bitcoin? So let's move on, because we've got some crazy things in here as well in these files that just got released. Someone's just put in the chat, Craig Wright is Satoshi. That is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Craig Wright, the BSV community. Oh my God, don't get me started on that. Let's continue. I mean, that's worse than the Bitcoin maximalist. This is the question the XRP community has been debating since the files dropped, and it's worth taking seriously, even if the answer isn't simple. The Epstein files don't contain a document that says Jeffrey Epstein created Bitcoin, but they do reveal something that raises real questions. Epstein was deeply embedded in the network of people who shaped Bitcoin's early development, funding, and institutional support. Consider what the documents show. Don't just take my word for it. Let's see what it says. If everyone's just tuned in, please can I ask you one thing? Please take a second to hit the like button. It takes 1 second. I know you haven't done it yet. I know you still haven't done it. Take a second, hit that like button. Please do subscribe if you haven't done so already, and check out the newsletter. It's the first link in the description. You can get the full article in the newsletter. We do a free XRP weekly newsletter as well. Plus, we have a 25% discount if you want the premium plans as well. So let's continue. Consider what the documents show. As early as June 2011, tech investor Jansen was emailing Epstein directly about Bitcoin's creators. This is 2011, guys. This is early days of Bitcoin, and Epstein was involved. Epstein directly about Bitcoin's creators references Gavin Anderson and Amir Taki, two of the earliest and most prominent Bitcoin developers. Here's the email to Jeffrey Epstein. Hey pal, running out to a kid's birthday party. We'll dig up their info. So you know, these are the folks who are trying to build a business. They are crazy open source folks who are radicals. Their motive is more in line with WikiLeaks or Wikipedia. I had these guys on my TV show, YouTube Startups, Gavin Anderson and Amir Taki, Bitcoin, Best J. I would like to get in touch with the Bitcoin guys. I'm happy to see you doing well. So look at the bottom of that email. Epstein wrote, I would like to get in touch with the Bitcoin guys. This is 2011, just 2 years after Bitcoin launched. The creator Satoshi Nakamoto had only recently disappeared from public forums. And here was Epstein actively seeking access to Bitcoin's founding circle. Then there's Joy Ito, the same Joy Ito who received Austin Hill's 2014 anti-Ripple email, was the director of MIT's Media Lab, which housed the Digital Currency Initiative, one of the most important institutional supporters of Bitcoin's core development. The links you can now see are linking. ITO resigned from MIT in 2019 after it was revealed that he had accepted funding from Epstein and concealed the relationship. The money Epstein funneled through MIT went in part to fund the very infrastructure that kept Bitcoin running. Epstein's money was essentially used to build the infrastructure to promote Bitcoin, to keep Bitcoin running. And here's another email from the files dated June 2013, showing someone sending Epstein and billionaire Tom Pritzker an article about Bitcoin's adoption in Kenya. The subject line, Kenya primed for wide-scale Bitcoin adoption. By 2013, Epstein wasn't just curious about Bitcoin, he was being briefed on its global expansion potential. Really, really a lot of Bitcoin content, early days, was being shared with Epstein. But perhaps the most striking document is an October 2016 email from Epstein himself. This is from Epstein, writing to two contacts, Rafat and Azia, about digital currencies and the Middle East. Epstein casually dropped a line that has set the crypto world alight. I've spoken to some of the founders who are very excited. So what we're going to do now is go over to part 2 of this video, because that very line could tell us a lot about Bitcoin's creators. So if you want to go watch part 2, I'll put it up here. If you want to go check out the newsletter, there is a free version, there's a paid plan. Check it out over here. But until part 2, take care of yourselves and each other. If you're watching live, guys, we're going to continue straight with the next part of this line. I've spoken to some of the founders of Bitcoin. I mean, that's a bit crazy. Let's go straight to our live chat, because I know we're having a rather funny discussion here. Keep getting distracted. What's going on in the chat? Just hit the like button for you. Thank you very much. Smashed. If Satoshi is 2-pack, I'm all in. Lou is here. See, Lou wasn't banned. XRP Army, I think he got timed out by one of our moderators for a second. XRP Army is worse than I imagined. The XRP Army is worse than you imagined, Lou. The Bitcoin Army is worse than I imagined. JJ, you haven't lost anything if you haven't sold. Buy and hold through in a wallet a few years down the road. You should be good. Thank you, JJ Able, for your thoughts. Human Being Liz is here. High Energy is here. Nisco is here. Smashed. Someone's put a clown emoji in the chat. No worries. Craig Palmer, I personally think there could be a big court case here, and Bitcoin could lose its ICO certification. Nick Jones says, we are not the XRP army here, we're investors. That's exactly right. We're not XRP armies. We might be part of the XRP army to an extent, depending on who you're trying to bundle us up with. We like the XRP utility, but most of us here are just here as investors. The Human Being Liz, no army here, wrong room. It says Human Being Liz. We just have fun. We just have fun. We have a great community, and we want to make some money. Even though it might be fiat money. RV, we are here to invest, not just crypto. Exactly. I actually have some Bitcoin as well. But it doesn't mean I'm a Bitcoin maxi. I do believe there's other coins in the cryptocurrency world that are useful. Lou, just leave it, bro. I'm already done with your channel. Sounds like it, Sensei. I'm own more Bitcoin than other things. What a joker. XRP and Bitcoin maxis hate each other. Now we know why. Since Epstein Hangout and Orangeman, and there's a guy from UK. I don't know what's going on there. Bitcoin, the world's biggest rug pull in mankind. Guys, I mean, if you think Bitcoin's just risk-free, I mean, it's not. All cryptocurrency is very risky. Probably if Bitcoin goes down 50%, XRP will go down 70, 80% because it's lower market cap. And Bitcoin right now is the king of the cryptocurrency market, and we have to respect it. Of course we do. I liked what Bitcoin stood for back then. Now it's not really that decentralized. Now there's too much government involvement, whatever. But I like it as a store of value. But I prefer gold. There's digital gold. If I want to store my value, I'll probably go to gold. If I want utility, I'll probably go to silver. I'll probably go to XRP. High Energy, I sold some Bitcoin too. Let me just read some of this chat. W Sensei says, Lou, what's going on, Lou? 1 second you love us, 1 second you hate us. What is it? Lou says LMFAO, forward, never straight. Sensei says high energy, level up down south says I'll probably sell at $20 whenever that might be. Good luck to you. High Sensei says Sammy, Silver Days XRP. Here we go. 2 commodities I like. 2 assets I like, silver and XRP. I was the AMC army. I don't judge. We don't judge. I'm Team Bear. I like Casper, says Lou. Lou's not a Bitcoin maxi. We got him all wrong. What's going on? Let's continue on the chat. When you get a chance, employer about USB creating 37 billion fake shares. It's the king. Respect it. Yes, it is. Boom. It is the king of the crypto market. You have to respect it. Just like when you go to the commodities market, you have to respect gold. If gold drops 10%, silver's dropping 50% apparently. You have to respect the king. And it's the king for now. It might be dethroned. It probably will be. Crab says, I turned down $100 investment of Bitcoin in 2011. Damn. Sorry to hear that. Exactly, well put, Sensei. I wouldn't wipe my... Not going to read that comment. Smash the like button, guys. Yes, listen to Lou. Smash the like button. Do you think silver, gold, copper stabilize? It's going to be volatile, guys. I've been buying gold and silver and reporting on it for 4 years. The first thing I ever did on this channel was give you the gold report and why it's so important and how it's against inflation and debasement of currency and how all the central banks are buying it up and how there's a supply issue. Yes, back then it was great. Now it's the risk reward isn't really there. We go through cycles with gold, just like we go with cryptos. I said a few weeks ago, it's going to get parabolic. It's going to get volatile. It's going to get seriously volatile, especially when we looked at silver. I mean, when you look at the chart of silver, we got it to an app. I mean, these charts don't change. Look, I'm not this person who's going to tell you to get rich, you get rich by charts or whatever, but we do like to look at the charts because it's another tool in a toolbox. And silver. Big breakout just last year in April of 2025 at $30. That's when we went ultra bullish on it, even though we were buying it way below that as well. And then we didn't change these charts. Go back into the videos. We don't delete our videos. We don't leave the newsletter reports. It's all on there. $120 was our final target for silver. Our final target for silver was $120. We did not change that. $120 all the way back down to our support at $74. The markets have just opened up and silver's back up. We did buy silver on the close on Friday as well, so we're up on that as well. But yeah, straight to the target. We need to go back to our story on Epstein because it is 1 a.m. in the morning here in the UK. But I want to read all your comments as well. On my Volker Foster says, geez, why can't Bitcoin maxis have a normal debate and try to overscream the other? Why only 200 likes, says Lou? I don't know, Lou. What's going on? Why is no one liking the show? It's because everyone's a Bitcoin maxi and they don't like to hear about XRP. Potato Family says, hi. Love your show, Lou, says Stephen. Nick Jones says, love the... I'm going to have to go check out Lou's channel. Lou is a maxi. It came out of his own mouth. But he just said he doesn't mind Casper, which is a really random altcoin. So maybe it's not a maxi. Maybe we didn't get the right side of Lou. Buying the dip, says Robel. Anyway, it was a fun night. I think we all learned a lot, says Martyn. Yes. Well, I don't know. Nothing dethroned King Kong, says Marty Mahar. Pick a side, bro, says Slim Jim. Because XRP is king and it needed legal clarity. Martyn Lucas the best. I just hope you got something out of it. Thank you, Martyn. I got a lot of entertainment out of it, that's for sure. Nick Jones says, appreciate it. I'm also going to get my wife telling me off because I should be in bed by now. Human Being Liz says, no, I learned. No, they're all coins. Martyn says, I was very unexpected. I had no idea that was going to happen. Yeah, sorry, Martyn. I just thought we have to get Lou on the show after I saw his comments and you got him on the show. We love it. Tomorrow, I'll release the unedited video for you all to see. Tag me, Martyn, says Lou. I'm sure Martyn will tag you. I remember my mate Jim saying Bitcoin at 27 pence. Wow. I will, Lou. I was kidding, Sensei. Oh, about Casper? What were you kidding about? I really enjoyed listening to you and Lou, Martyn. It made my night. It was great. Part 2, Sensei. We'll have to do another day, Lou. We'll have to do another day. We've got a lot of content to go through tonight, but I'd love to speak with you. We need to do a part 2. XRP, says Vocal Foster. Everyone's asleep in the UK. Yeah. World Liberty Financial will host flagship forum from Palm Beach on February 18th. Thank you for the information. I don't have any thoughts on that token. Joe Doe says, why do you think Ripple and Coinbase are having a meeting at the White House with President Trump tomorrow? Who knows? We'll find out. Hopefully we'll be covering it live on the show. High Energy Investment says they are saying the meeting at Mar-a-Lago will be like November 1910, a secret gathering of powerful bankers. Oh, God. Yeah. Yes, call in, Lou, said someone. Bullish. Dust the black eye. No, it's just eczema, and it's at night it gets worse. Don't worry, no black eye. Martyn says, please go support Lou. Sub to his channel. He has been a good support. He can call in. Yeah, if you click on Lou's channel there, you can go and support him. And hit the subscribe button on his channel as well. We'll have the people want me back. Let's go. Lou, we will love to have you back. Human Being Liz says, no good night or not good night or crowd favorite. I wouldn't say that, but it was great. Fred said, "This is awesome. 2 YouTubers on a live stream of another possible future YouTube trend. Human being clears. See you in a few hours, guys. We're going to come back to the Epstein story now. Why did the SEC pick Ripple to sue? In your opinion? Well, we'll see a bit more about that. DM me, Lou. See all the links about sending me an X DM. Yeah, Lou, send a message to Martyn on X. Definitely, Lou. There we go. Okay, we're caught up with the chat. Let's go back to the story. Let me start it. Sorry. Didn't mean to do that. Let's go here. Martyn is a really good piano player. Yeah, he is. He's the world piano man. We have a Friday night concert on the show. Breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. We are now on part 2 of the big Jeffrey Epstein files. Now we're looking at who is Satoshi Nakamoto and has the Epstein files revealed it. Plus, the suppression on XRP and Ripple and how it's all linked to Gary Gensler. So let's continue from where we left off. If you haven't watched part 1, you'll find it in the playlist down below. It all links together. So this might be the most striking part of the document. So the most striking document is from October 2016 email from Epstein himself. This is Epstein's email sending to 2 others in the Middle East. And he said, well, let me go straight to the document. The 2 more radical ideas would be to form 2 new currencies. One called the Shahira, would be like a dollar, but a dollar is has printed on it "In God We Trust." The Middle East could have its own shahira for internal use amongst Muslims. In addition, a digital currency like Bitcoin could be used to form a new shahira compliant digital currency. Very exciting. And then this is the big words here. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. I've spoken to some of the founders of Bitcoin. He's spoken to some of the founders of Bitcoin who are very excited. What the hell does that mean? Let's read that again. Epstein didn't say he'd spoken to Bitcoin developers or investors. He said founders, plural. Satoshi Nakamoto's identity is the single biggest unsolved mystery in technology. No one has ever publicly confirmed who created Bitcoin. And yet, here was Epstein. In a private email, never meant to be seen, remember, claiming he had spoken directly to the people who built it and that they were very excited about his new plans of a coin in the Middle East. Did Epstein actually know who Satoshi was? Or was he just exaggerating his connections, as powerful people often do? The files don't answer that yet. There's more to come. But combined with everything else, his 2011 outreach to Bitcoin developers, his funding of MIT's crypto infrastructure, his network of people like Ito and Hoffman who shaped the industry, the claim can't be dismissed. At minimum, Epstein believed he was in direct contact with Bitcoin's creators. At maximum, he actually was in contact with those actors. And Epstein wasn't just talking, he was putting money in. The files also contain an April 2018 email from Matt Vizar, a cryptographer and Zcash co-founder, sent directly to Epstein's inbox. Viraza forwarded Zcash company K1 tax documents, discussed roughly 200,000 in auction proceeds, noted that all of his coins were still maintained by the company, and laid out a strategy to extract them before an upcoming fork to benefit from both branches. That wasn't a casual conversation about crypto. A co-founder of a major cryptocurrency was reporting to Epstein on holdings, tax filings, and fork strategy, the kind of communication you would have with an investor. And it was a very strange email when you read this as well. Zcash will have a fork in the chain. This is from Medaris Reza to Jeffrey Epstein. And this part here is very interesting. He said, all my coins will be still maintained by the company. We want to move on getting them through. He said Zcash will have a fork in the chain. It is expected that only one branch will be live after this. And then in brackets, he puts, it won't be controversial fork like Ethereum or versus Ethereum Classic, but we will have physical control over the keys. We can benefit from both branches in case it is controversial, while if we wait to get coins out, we're only going to get company endorsed branch. Can I call you someday? This is to Jeffrey Epstein. Very weird things going on in the inside. The picture that emerges is consistent. Epstein wasn't on the sidelines of crypto. He was funding Bitcoin's infrastructure through MIT. There's going to be a link of Gary Gensler in a second, claiming direct contacts with its founders and receiving financial reports from cryptocurrency co-founders. He was an investor, a connector, and if his own words are to believe, someone who had access to the people who built the technology that started it all. Guys, this scares me. There's something about Bitcoin. I love all the arguments for Bitcoin. Decentralized, it's against the debasement of currency, your keys, your wallet, you own it, no one could take away from you, sovereignty, all the great arguments. There's a lot that just makes me think, is the risk reward worth it? Right now, Bitcoin, well, it went to 100,000, currently it's 75, 80,000, whatever. What's the best case scenario? Maybe it just keeps going up forever, but the gains are going to be severely diminished after it hits a million. So we've got a scenario where it can go from 100,000 to a million, or a scenario where it goes from 88,000 to zero. If no one trusts it, if everyone starts to believe, if more information comes out that Jeffrey Epstein was one of the founders, or has links to the founders, or knew who Satoshi was Satoshi, or was part of that group, there's a big risk there that that they can come out and sell it all. And that's always a risk. I mean, Satoshi owns a good part of the supply, and he can come out and sell it all. And then what will Bitcoin be worth? I know Bitcoin only goes up because everyone trusts it and they like what it stands for, and they don't know who it is. But if more information comes out about who the creators were, and if they were not the people we want them to be, then it could be worth nothing. And that's why I prefer to own something like gold, because who created gold? Well, God created gold. so I don't think we've got an issue there. I love XRP. Why? Well, we know who created it. We've got their names. We know who created it. Yes, we know there's a company called Ripple who owns a large amount of the supply, and that's a risk. They can dump it, but that's not in their benefit, and they've showed us that it's part of a main part of their company. So I don't think they're going to dump it, because that'll be terrible PR. It'll be terrible for their company, and they've scheduled a way of slowly dumping XRP to as they want to make it more decentralized. So Bitcoin's argument is starting to fade, and it's making me worried. And when you start seeing connections with Epstein, I go, well, do I really want to own Bitcoin? Is the risk reward there? Best case, I 10x my Bitcoin, and then it's very, very, very much diminishing returns. Worst case, it goes to zero. What's the scenario of XRP? Best case, maybe if it gets adopted or whatever, we can start looking at $50, or maybe start looking at $100. But $10 is very possible. If and that's a 10x. And what's the worst case? Well, of course, cryptocurrencies can be volatile, can drop 90%, but no one's gonna come out and dump all their XRP. There is no mysterious figure. We know who the links are. We know exactly who's involved in making XRP, and we know what companies use it. So this is very concerning about who actually created Bitcoin and the links to Jeffrey Epstein and what he stood for. So what we're going to do now is move over to a little bit about XRP now, and specifically about the suppression. So what we're going to do is go over to part 2. I'll leave it up over here. So sorry, part 3. We've already done part 1. This is part 2. Part 3 will be up here. The newsletter's down here. Remember, we're running 25% off. We're doing 5 people a day. We're not doing any more than that, because we don't want it to get too overcrowded in there. What we're going to be doing, you get the full articles, the full daily newsletters, the 5 things you need to know every day, the deep dives, the charts. We've started a portfolio challenge. It's just a journal. What I'm doing with my 5,000, it is not alerts. I'm not telling you what to buy, what to sell. I'm just showing you my research methods. I'm going to be telling you all about charts. It's all going to be part of the whole experience. You're also going to get a net worth tracker, so you can figure out where your finances are at, plus all the other perks and benefits of DMing me one-on-one, and the the community. So go check that out. It's over here, 25% discount. But now we're going to go over to part 3. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. Okay, let's go back to live chat for a second. We're going to get into the meat of it now. Bitcoin versus XRP, a war in the emails. We've got David Schwartz coming into this, and then we've got Elon Musk coming into this, and how it all links to Gary Gensler and XRP and the suppression. I mean, God, if you didn't think that was enough, I've spent all day trying to look into this. It's some crazy information. Let's go through the chat. Me Too, his political stuff, and then he goes live at protests. I need to check him out. Human Being Liz says, we'll catch, well, I catch about Bitcoin. Nice to see everyone happy. Yes, everyone's happy now. Privacy and AI tokens are next. Javil says, Martyn, next time play the Eye of the Tiger. Kata says, you are still out of sync. I'm out of sync. Oh, goodness. Why am I out of sync? Goodness. Seems like I'm out of sync. How's that happen? That's never happened before. I'm out of sync. How the hell do I fix that? How the hell am I out of sync? Might need to start the stream again. And how the hell am I out of sync? Sorry about this, guys. Bear with me. This has never happened before. This is what happens when you go live every day. The mistakes happen live on the show. Let me see what I can do. Preferences here. Mic delay. Until next time, as always. Let's see if this is any better. I wouldn't know why that's happening. Bear with me. Let's see if this is. Wouldn't know why. Yeah, okay. Yeah, obviously we're having a major issue in terms of syncage, which is weird. How do I stop that? Let me just check over here. We're going to probably have to resume this in the morning. What we're going to do is probably resume the rest of the story in the morning with part 3, 4, and 5. I'll leave it for the morning show. Guys, right now you've got a chance. It's going to be all out of sync. Probably shouldn't be full screen because that's going to annoy more people. Let's go back to this screen over here with these guys. There's 25% off. I'm going to give you the link. It's only the first 5 people every day. There's also a free newsletter as well. So if you want to get the newsletter and get some of this coverage, read it through. There is also a free newsletter. So what I'm going to do, that's not going to work either. God, everything's going wrong tonight. Let me remove that. Let me give you the correct link. Oh, you're not out of sync. Am I not out of sync? You're not out of sync, just messing with you. I'm not out of sync? I thought I was. I thought I just looked at myself and I looked out of sync. Let me just go back. Maybe a simple refresh fixes it. No, I think I am. I can see it. You can sync it when you edit it. Thank you, Lou. But we like to do everything live. And obviously we want to do a good live show as well. No problem. Yes, out of sync. You're not out of sync. You're good. We can push through. Guys, it's up to you. I'll do a poll. Do you want me to carry on? Because it's kind of annoying for me anyway. And probably for you. I don't like seeing it out of sync. That's never happened before. I'll do a poll. And poll. Start poll. Out of sync. I don't want to do it out of sync. I want to have a good live show. He is out of sync, but I don't mind that. No, I think it's best we continue it in the morning. Because I don't want to be out of sync. Or I could try and go live again. Should I try go live again? Okay, bear with me. I'm going to set up a live stream, and hopefully by the time I end it and start it again, we will be in sync. So how do I do this? Bitcoin hour with Lou. Goodness. Over to Bitcoin hour with Lou. Let me go to this. Go live. Let me create a new live stream. I'll create a new live stream, and then I know people want me to continue with this story, so let's continue with the story. Okay, so what I'm going to do is set up a new live stream. I'll give you guys the link, and then we'll go live there. Okay. Okay, let me give everyone the link now. I'm out of the sync most of the time. Guys, that's the link for the newsletter. The 25% is the first 5 people every for today anyway. Let me go over to the new stream and give you the link there. Live here now. I'll pin that as oh god. Okay, guys, that's the link. That's where we're going now. I'll take a minute to refresh the whole system, and then we'll be live there. I apologize for the issues. We've never had that before. But we like to do everything live, and we like to do a good show. So I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to end the stream. This will take you directly there as well. Oh god, that's the wrong thing I'm linking. Replace pin message. Okay, I think that's all set up correctly now. So I've given you the link. Please go there now, and we will resume the stream in 5 minutes once I refresh everything. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves.